I believe I was one of the very first that Honorable Miracle called. At that time, I was on the road. I called Honorable Leo Ogo, and I called the Chairman Interiors. She called me. She was crying. There's a time when we need to rally, not just behind her as a member, but behind her as a woman, and behind her as a person who is protected under the Constitution, under fundamental human rights of rights to human dignity. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Leo Ogo has addressed the issue under Section 16, which is very germane to this matter. The man is obviously, I'm not even interested on the issue of fair hearing, because there is nothing as clear as what happened. Fair hearing is just really fulfilling the righteous. The man, as far as I'm concerned, is guilty of assault, is guilty of battery, is guilty of inflicting grievous bodily harm. He's guilty of an offense under violence against women, which was passed numerously by several legislative houses. Mr. Speaker, I am glad we're here to even talk about it and talk about his guilt, and that our colleague is sitting here before us. Mr. Speaker, you're a lawyer, and I'm sure you are aware of what they call the eggshell case, where even you don't know how fragile a particular person's skull is. People have been hit by innocuous punches and they drop and die. Anything could have happened. It is on this premise that I want us to look at this matter. The slap was not by the aide, as far as I'm concerned. The slap was by the principal of the aide, because the aide is an agent of the principal. And when the principal is sitting there observing what the agent has done, then the principal is liable. So, Mr. Speaker, we call it in law vicarious liability. Thank you. I want to close because I'm meant to be sitting now with the Attorney General and Inspector General of Police on the issue of Kogi. They're sitting now waiting in the office. But because this matter is so important, because this matter is so germane, it could be had today, somebody else tomorrow, I believe the Controller General of Police, Controller General of Prisons, belongs behind the prisons he supervises. I believe we should work towards him being relieved of his duty, because he's obviously not in a position to do what he's supposed to be doing. But beyond that, Mr. Speaker, I think this House should now call also those who were mandated to protect members of this House within this precinct. Where were the police at the gate? Where was the sergeant at arms? Apparently, from what she told me, after they assaulted her, the policemen watched them drive away gleefully in their 20-car convoy. I believe they need to be called to give us exactly what they did when this happened. Mr. Speaker, I believe it is time for us to also amend our rules. From henceforth, that nobody in the executive, save the president or the vice president, must come into these premises or the precincts of this National Assembly with more than one, at best, if we want to be benevolent, 2 cars. You bring in your 1 car, you bring in your orderly if you're entitled to one, unarmed. I believe that is very, very important. where is Controller General of Prisons comes in with a 20-car convoy to the National Assembly, I think then there's something to be, this is something we need to address. So I think the amendment of our rules should be speedily done for us to put these things in check and to put it to rest. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.